Explosions, in their simplest form, are rapid releases of energy accompanied by shock waves and often destructive consequences. Over the centuries, humans have harnessed this power, transforming it into tools of construction, destruction, and unfortunately, warfare. Today, we're comparing the vast spectrum of explosions, from the small sparks that light up the night sky to the earth-shaking blasts that alter the course of history. What was the biggest explosion ever created by humans? And how did agricultural supplies figure into one of the deadliest explosions in the United States? Well, we'll get there, but for now, let's start small. Firecrackers, the sparkly stars of special celebrations. The intended purpose? Well, they're all about festivities, bringing joy and color to special occasions. Very popular in New Year's celebrations around the world. But these miniature explosives pack a punch, reaching a few meters in height. Despite their small size, they can cause harm if you don't know how to handle them. Yeah, with unsupervised usage, they can cause injuries and sometimes property damage. The most common injuries include hearing damage and burns, but in more extreme cases, they can cost you a finger or an eye. So be safe and keep a safe distance from lit firecrackers. Never hold a lit firecracker in your hand, and think about wearing ear protection. Even the smallest explosions demand respect, and they only get bigger from here. Okay, moving up the explosive ladder, let's take a look at the controlled power of dynamite. Dynamite explosions, with their reach extending to tens of meters, are a versatile tool for excavation and demolition, and are the workhorses of construction and mining. Dynamite has also been infamously associated with criminal activity. Yeah, you may remember it from the Wild West era, when bank robbers used it to bust open safes. Well, the use of dynamite in these situations led to a dramatic rise in security measures. Demolitions using dynamite cause significant structural damage and can send debris flying within the blast zone. If you find yourself in a situation where dynamite is being used, well, make darn sure to maintain a safe distance. Pay attention to the posted warnings and follow evacuation instructions. Wearing a helmet and safety glasses will give you an additional layer of defense against flying debris. But unfortunately, not all explosions are for construction or celebrations. Bombs used in warfare, whether dropped from planes or detonated by other means, result in devastating explosions, often reaching heights of over 100 meters. Think about World War II's Blitz in 1940 and 41 as an infamous example of widespread bombing. Major cities, including London, saw relentless attacks aimed at breaking the morale of the civilian population. However, the biggest non-nuclear warfare explosion was in Afghanistan in April of 2017. The U.S. military dropped the mother of all bombs, or Moab. This massive bomb, filled with 11 tons of high explosives, explodes above the ground and destroys all surfaces, mines, and enemies within a 150-meter radius. But beyond the physical destruction, these explosions are intended to cripple societies and military forces. In the unfortunate event of a bombing, your survival depends on quick and informed actions. Find shelter immediately, follow emergency plans meticulously, and stay informed about the safest routes to navigate the chaos. Well, there's no strategy that guarantees absolute safety. Being prepared is a powerful ally in times of conflict. Okay, moving on to a less tragic scenario. Have you ever wondered how buildings vanish so neatly? Well, the answer is controlled demolition. Explosives strategically placed to bring down a structure. The tallest building ever to be imploded with controlled demolition was Detroit's Greater Hudson store in 1998. This building had a height of 125 meters. The main reasons for these explosions are to make space for new development or to eliminate unsafe buildings. And when performed correctly, these explosions result in a controlled collapse within the demolition zone. But if they're not carefully planned, there's a risk of dust and debris affecting the surrounding area. If you find yourself near a scheduled building demolition, well, follow safety guidelines, ensuring that you're at a safe distance. Or better yet, just get the heck out of there. Protective gear like a dust mask can help reduce the chance of debris and airborne particles getting in your airway. Okay, now let's shift our focus to a more sinister creation. Fertilizer bombs. These improvised explosive devices have left a permanent mark on our world. Fertilizer bombs are made by using common agricultural ingredients, typically combining ammonium nitrate with fuel to create a volatile mixture. The size of a fertilizer bomb explosion is unpredictable and can vary based on the type of explosive materials used and the quantity. Today, we'll focus on a bomb that had the blast equivalent of over 1,800 kilograms of TNT and could be heard and felt 90 kilometers away. I'm talking about the Oklahoma City bombing of 1995. This act of domestic terrorism targeted the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building with a bomb made up of more than 2 tons of ammonium nitrate fertilizer and fuel oil concealed in a rental truck. 1/3 of the building was instantly reduced to rubble. Dozens of cars were incinerated, and more than 300 nearby buildings were damaged. A total of 168 people were killed, including 19 children. More than 500 people were injured. To survive a fertilizer bomb explosion, you'd need to take shelter immediately, ideally behind a sturdy structure in order to minimize exposure to flying debris. If you're indoors, move away from windows and toward the center of the building. Okay, we're nearing the end of our list, and we're now entering the realm of nuclear explosions. The atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II were extremely powerful, with explosions reaching heights of over 1 kilometer. These devastating bombs led to Japan's surrender in 1945. The cataclysmic aftermath of these attacks showcased the unparalleled capability of nuclear weapons to cause mass destruction. Thankfully, to this day, Hiroshima and Nagasaki remain the only instances in which a nuclear weapon has been deployed in armed conflict. Those bombs resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths, the obliteration of entire city blocks, and long-term health consequences due to radiation exposure. These explosions fundamentally altered the course of history, influencing global geopolitics and nuclear regulations. Now, in the event of an imminent nuclear attack, getting to a sturdy structure with a fallout shelter is crucial. All right, now it's time for the grand finale, the largest man-made explosion in history, courtesy of the Tsar bomb. The mushroom cloud from this Soviet hydrogen bomb test reached heights of over 60 kilometers. This colossal bomb was conceived as a demonstration of the Soviet Union's nuclear capability during the Cold War arms race. It sent a clear message to rival nations. Its explosion could obliterate an entire city, causing firestorms and immense damage to infrastructure. And the repercussions of a detonation like this would extend well beyond the immediate blast zone, as well as produce long-lasting nuclear fallout. Surviving that Tsar Bomba-like explosion would be extraordinarily challenging. Its enormous scale and devastating effects are unprecedented. In the unlikely event of such a scenario, well, I don't need to tell you this, but evacuate the blast zone immediately. Find shelter underground and follow government instructions to protect yourself against exposure to radiation. As we finish this comparison, it's clear that while explosions are undeniably deadly, there's also an inexplicable fascination that makes it hard for us to look away. Something about raw, destructive power makes us want to capture that moment forever.